Again, I think it starts with agency. You find the passion, use the passion, and then we can get to great. Okay, so let's personify this. So I shared a lot of quotes with you yesterday, but I kept one to myself because I love this one and I didn't want to share it yet. So this is a quote from, we'll call him Tyreek, is a guy who was arrested for armed robbery. He was raised by a single mom, and he was straight-laced until after high school, where he started hanging out with the wrong crowd. Liked these guys. And they pulled off an armed robbery, were sentenced to 6 years that he spent at Rikers and Greenhaven, which is upstate in New York. And yet somehow today he has a master's degree in social work. He's a manager at an advocacy organization for successful reentry. So how did this happen? So these are the types of people in my sample. So this is a quote I'll read to you that he said to me. They say you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. But it's scarier when you lead a horse to water and they say, what water? I was the horse who didn't see the ocean in front of me. It's not a conscious decision. I really am ignorant to the fact that what is in front of me is water. All of that said, when we talk about changes that we want to make to a system, it's with our understanding that these are good changes, but that may not be how it's interpreted. In every story, we have to understand the person may not see that this is a good option. The person may not even understand that this is water they're looking at. So this quote, I think, is directly related to goal formation and how you can think about how you can get your students to form goals. You may not necessarily come from the same background, and this is interesting. We were sitting at a table yesterday with Glenn over there, and Glenn told a story about how in 11th grade he had to go through forceful desegregation, and how that actually hurt him at first academically because his previous teachers took an interest in him and his new teachers didn't, and Glenn's partner felt like he had nothing to share that could match that. But we both probed, and eventually the man was able to tell us something really, really touching about his own life. And so people may think that cultural competency is some really complicated thing, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. It doesn't have to be that complicated to start to show someone the water. Another thing that I think is really important about this quote is the second half. I guess kids these days would say that this man is very woke. It's funny that he talks about people in power. So that could be in schools when people are at the DOE, and I've been at the DOE before, making top-down legislation. It could be within schools, principal deciding for teachers, for classrooms. So even though, and this is, I don't know if I mean this, we won't go there, but politicians, if they try to enact policies that they think they have our best interest in mind, their lack of actually seeing how that operates on the ground might be what keeps them from being able to actually enact that. That's a very Freirean concept. To liberate a student, you need to know their praxis, their specific point of action and reflection. And if you don't, then you're just playing into your power position. And that's kind of what scares me about the Betsy DeVos thing. Okay. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, she probably has some experience.